Hello, it's Judith here. How has the first week of 2024 been for you? I must admit that it's been a bit challenging for me and for other people that I have spoken to. And although I'm a February birthday, I do not like the first 2 months of the year. It seems a long time before spring, and I wouldn't say I suffered from sad seasonal affective disorder, but I don't like these grey days and early dark nights. And, you know, there's nothing much to look forward to until the spring comes. So they're difficult anyway. And I think for many of us, me included, I've been recovering from the bugs we had over Christmas. My granddaughters who were at uni kindly brought something back for me. I don't know which I caught, but I got one of them. I started on Christmas Eve. So yeah, and you know, I've hardly spoken to anybody who hasn't had something or had somebody in the family who's had something, including COVID and other bugs. And for me, Christmas was very busy. It generally is. It seemed to be busier than ever this year. And so I was tired. So how have I dealt with it? Well, first of all, I made a promise to myself that having brought in the new year with my family, I would do absolutely nothing on the first day of January. I wouldn't think I need to prepare for tomorrow, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. So I did. When I say I did nothing, of course, I did get out of bed. I started a new knitting project, which is my way of clocking off, if you like, and relaxing. And yeah, I enjoy it, and I enjoy the finished results. Played catch up on television, because as a family we don't watch television over Christmas, and so I had all sorts of things recorded. Yes, I still do the old-fashioned record. It's quicker than going to find things, and it also helps me remember the things I want to watch. So I caught up and spent time with my cats, who weren't speaking to me, because although I'd been at home for Christmas, I'd not actually been at home very much from Christmas Eve, really, right the way through to New Year's Eve. So, you know, every morning they looked at me and thought, oh yeah, she's off again. You know, she's going off again. Maybe not till lunchtime, but then not coming back until late at night. So they were not happy. So we just spent some quality time together. And then I sort of slid into January the 2nd, and yeah, encountered a number of challenges. I think there's just one outstanding from last week that needs to be dealt with this week. And I think the frustration has been, most of them I thought I'd dealt with, and they'd come back and bitten me on the bottom. So that was frustrating, because they were things that I had thought I'd put to bed. But, you know, it is what it is. And I ended the week remembering the good things that had happened, because there had been some, and it's so easy to focus on the negative. And I found myself doing it a lot, and had to pull myself up and say, look, yeah, you had a couple of tough days, but, you know, the last 2 days were mainly good. There was still some frustration in there, but they were mainly good. And those are the things to remember, and those are the things to take forward into the weekend and into next week. So I successfully did that. I didn't make any New Year's resolutions. I haven't yet made any New Year's resolutions, and probably won't. And I'm just wondering if you made some resolutions, and if you did, how have things gone this week? I mean, the classics are not drinking for January, eating more healthily, getting fit. And as I spoke about last week, actually, top of the list is dealing with mental health issues. So how have your New Year's resolutions gone? Is there any way that I can help with any that I can help with. Don't ask me for help with improving your physical health, because I'm absolutely no expert on that topic, but I am able to help with weight loss, stopping smoking, and anxiety and other mental health issues. And also habits, which is something I don't mention very often. A lot of the time people make resolutions about breaking habits like nail biting, hair pulling, or other activities which have become habitual. So for most of the people I see with habits that they want to get rid of, they've been going on for a long time and they're not even aware that they're doing them. I mean, frequently, let's talk about nail biting, because that's a very common one. You know, people will say to me, I don't even know I'm doing it until somebody else points it out to me, because they've obviously talked about stopping and people are trying to remind them that they're doing it. So it becomes very automatic. There's a part of our brain that I've mentioned before that automates things for us. And this is really helpful when you're learning to drive. It's not very helpful when you're doing something repeatedly that you don't actually want to be doing. So this part of the brain picks up that there is some repeated activity going on. So just let's make it automatic, make life easy for ourselves. And then you don't even have to initiate the action. It will just happen. As I say, fine when you're learning something like learning to drive, which becomes very much an automated activity, but not so good when you're doing something that you really would rather not be doing. So with habits, the way that we break them, not the same process as phobias, but similar in the sense that it's a fairly mechanical process. It's learning what's called an alternative behaviour. So for instance, if you're a nail biter, and you can see that I'm not, and I never have been actually, and these nails aren't here just to stop me biting, because believe me, the person I go to for my nails said people will bite whatever sort of nails, gel nails, acrylic nails, they will still bite if they're biters. So alternative behaviour for nail biting, the classic one is to clench the fist. You can't actually bite your nails if you've got your fist clenched. So it's a question of learning that, or deciding what the alternative behaviour is. I mean, the client does get to choose. The recommendation is something like that. Practicing it out of hypnosis, practicing it in hypnosis, and then doing it for real. Alongside that, and to speed the process along, we do two other things. One, first of all, is identifying, if possible, what's the first thing that you notice. Some people are aware of a pre-biting activity, keeping with nails, so they're aware of examining their nails or picking bits of them. So that's the point at which to do the fist clenching before the nail gets anywhere near your mouth. For many people, though, as I say, they don't know until somebody points it out. So for them, the first task is awareness, becoming aware of when you're biting, or doing the alternative behaviour when you are biting. You know, it's never too late to stop. So take your nail out of your mouth and clench your fist, even if it's got to that point. And it's a question of creating a new habit. So we're trying to replace an unwanted habit with a new habit, which is then, you don't get stuck clenching your fist all the time. It's a habit that goes with the biting. Once the biting habit has been pushed out of the way, then you no longer need to clench your fists. So that's it, simply. Doing practice in hypnosis with me, maybe giving them other tools to help, particularly if nail biting is associated with anxiety or nervousness about a particular situation. Mostly when I ask people when they bite, it's almost boredom, when driving, when watching television in the evening, when they've got nothing else to do. That's when they bite. But sometimes there are associated things that we can work on. And it's very effective if the person has the determination to do the work. And that's the same with everything that I do, but it's most important with nail biting. You've got to just keep doing it. So the bit of your brain that automates eventually gets the message, oh, we don't want to do this, we want to do that. Okay, fine. Every time I catch the desire to put the finger in mouth, I will help with that. So that becomes the new habit. But as I say, once the nail biting stopped. And it's wonderful. I get pictures from clients who, have had their nails done for the first time, and they look really pretty, and they're absolutely delighted. And it's a small thing, but it can become a big thing in people's lives. So the last person that I worked with was very conscious of her nails. She very much felt that people were judging her on the basis of her nails. And she also felt that it was a sign of weakness. It was a sign of, her inability to manage life, whatever, So it seems like a relatively unimportant thing if you don't do it. But if you do it, it can get to dominate your life, the fact that you're doing this and how it makes you feel about yourself and how you believe it makes other people feel about you. And I bet for those of us that don't bite, do you ever notice that other people have got bitten? I mean, they've got to be pretty bad for people to notice, and certainly I hope most of us wouldn't comment on it or judge people because of it. So it's more important than it seems, and as I say, put the work in, and it's easy to resolve, relatively easy to resolve. So if you have a resolution, which was, I'm going to stop some kind of habit that you don't like yourself doing, then come talk to me. If you know anybody else that's struggling with the same thing, then send them my way, and we'll do the very best we can to create a more innocent or more acceptable habit, which, as I say, generally just disappears when the originating habit has gone, because it's very much associated with it. Okay, that's me for this week. I'm looking forward to the positives of the coming week, and I hope you are too. But I've talked mostly about habits today, but if there's anything else I can help you with, even if you just want a chat to somebody, I'm very happy to do that. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Stay warm. I think it's going to be colder this week. Stay warm, but cold and sunny is better than warmer and grey, or grey and wet. So stay warm. Keep away from infections if you possibly can. Recover if you're still in that mode, and just generally take care of yourself and snuggle. There is something nice about closing the curtains and snuggling up, isn't there? So again, let's take the positive out of these dull grey months, potentially. And the spring will come, because it always does. Take care and see you next week. Bye.